What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast. I'm Ronan Gaine. Joining me, as always, Chris Nambu. We got a fun one today. We are predicting 10 breakout stars for next season. We're effectively each drafting a five-man big board for the Most Improved Player award in 26-27. We also got to get into some Russell Westbrook talk. He has announced his retirement from the NBA. Kind of sad way for him to go out. He clearly wanted to keep playing, but unfortunately didn't want to do it for the Sacramento Kings. So we're going to get in, have a look back over his career, and put some respect on Brody's name. That's something that he definitely deserved. He was a hell of a competitor. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. So before we get into it all, Chris, how you doing, man?
Great, man. It's been a hot summer. It's been a busy summer, as I'm sure you can attest to as well. But I think we're now officially, would you title this the doldrums? I've been waiting for you to say doldrums. It's been about a year since I've heard it. I've been waiting, and I think we're here. I think we're here.
We are.
But I'm pretty excited to talk about what we're gonna do. So for the next several episodes, I think until we either run out of these or until it's the regular season, we're gonna be doing some drafting. We're going to draft outcomes for the next season. And we like to get competitive here. I haven't been embarrassed with trivia in a while, so I figure this is a little bit more of a fair way to do it. So today we're going to draft in a snake format, which I guess is the only way you can do it with two people. Most Improved Player Award next year. So we're each going to choose the top five for who we think could win it. Whoever's correct will get a point. We'll do another outcome next episode, whether or not that's first time All NBA, first time All Star, that sort of thing, and so on and so forth. So I think this will be a good opportunity. We can chat about some other team things with whatever players we're talking about. But pretty excited to talk about that. And why don't we just jump into it, man? We can talk about Russ first, or we could talk about Russ after. I was pretty bummed to see it, to be honest. It seemed very, 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 very anticlimactic and just a little surreal, I guess, when you think back on his career. But yeah, I guess let's start there with Russell Westbrook ending his storied career, historical career, one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, and now that leaves, I think, only Steph Curry is left out of that draft class, right? Out of the 2008 draft class.
Yeah.
Just Steph Curry left standing, and yeah, just disappointing. It's just so unfortunate that he leaves with like a bad taste for everyone. They just have this bad taste of Russ in their mouth over the last few years. It really started since he got that trade to the Lakers, and it just felt like everything just went way downhill after that. But Russ's prime, when he was in OKC, he was just one of the most fun, most entertaining players to watch. Mr. Triple Double, like what a freaking player he was.
I think like growing up in that era, like Derrick Rose was, I think, my beginning of my love for the game is watching Derrick Rose. I'm a younger NBA fan. I recognize that. But as Derrick Rose is kind of starting to fade out with the injuries, I mean, it was hard to deny. I mean, Russell Westbrook was my favorite player at that time. I mean, just his ferocity. You don't always see that. You know, you can talk about his game. You can talk about. I think we got a little bit to the nitty gritty, and I feel like I've said that a lot. Like, a lot of it came down to just his team fits and stats and everything. But I think just as a fan, watching this player and like who he was at that time. I mean, who else from that era like was a more exciting player to watch?
Yeah.
Who else is the guy you turn on and tell me like he is going to be competing harder than anyone? And that's not always a feature of every superstar. You know, like that level of intensity that he brings in, night out. So I feel like the circus got a little bit too much, like you were saying, at the end of his career, where it felt like, you know, I mean, look at it. He went to a Lakers team that had flaws already. And he went to a Clippers team that had flaws already. We forget he was on a Nuggets team. Some issues there as well. And then the Kings. I mean, you know, who are we to look at?
Kings said that's one big issue.
So I mean, it sucks that wherever he went, his flaws were pointed out as like the reason why said team was not going to be successful when there's already other issues. But I hope we can just forget that and like move on to like really remembering him for just the insane seasons he had, the insane highlights, the playoff competition, and he's always going to be part of that what if between him and Kevin Durant if they had stayed together in OKC. And I think he can ride off into the sunset. I liked his commercial. I didn't fully understand it, to be totally honest. Like the no answers, but I think that's kind of the point. Is like I think his career speaks for himself. I think for how he's carried himself speaks for itself, and the legacy he leaves behind is what his teammates have to say about him, and the whole league has nothing but praise for this guy who's been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different teams. He has gone coast to coast. He's made an impact everywhere he's gone. For better or for worse, he'll still be one of my most memorable favorite players I've ever seen on the court.
Yeah, I mean, for I know people like to mug him off and say he was a stat patter and stuff like that for times in OKC, but he was kind of there on his own and kind of holding the fort down in OKC when Kevin Durant left. It was kind of put all on his shoulders, and the fact that a player his size was averaging a triple double across the season, that's like absolutely absurd. Like you could say he stat padded and stuff like that, but to do it, average a 30-point triple double at his size.
No, who can do that? Name like one person who you give him the ball that many times, you give him those many opportunities that is going to do that. Who?
Yeah, like it's absolutely absurd. Like the numbers that he put up, he's obviously retiring with the record in triple doubles. Unfortunately, Jokic probably is going to exceed that, but before he calls time in his career. But the fact that a player his size is up there right now and in the modern NBA with the level of talent and athleticism, he's got to think. What did he finish with? Probably like 26,000 points in the league, something around that mark. I didn't actually look it up, but MVP, multi-time All-NBA, multi-time All-Star, I think 9 times in the end. Like he's going into the Hall of Fame, and Russell Westbrook's career should be remembered for just being that fierce competitor, that insane athlete, and genuinely one of the most exciting players to ever play basketball.
He is going to end with the 5th most assists of all time, 14th most points of all time, be a top 50 rebounder. But I mean, he's going to go down as one of the greatest ever, and it'll be remembered.
That's for a point guard. That's for a point guard to be top 50 in rebounds. That's pretty insane. At his height, what is he? 6'4", maybe? 6'3".
Yeah, 7 feet. He's 6'3". And I think the thing to recognize too is, in this league, health is everything. Availability is everything. There's so many players there's so many what ifs because they couldn't stay healthy. For this guy to crash the boards the way he does, to run downhill the way he does, to finish over the top the way he does, to play as physically as he does, he lasted for this long. And that's just how crazy of an athlete he is, and how much what a beating he took over his career. But
speaking of which, I want to just look right now and see. Yeah, like consistently played big time games. Like he was there, he was available. Like look at all his time in OKC. He had one season where he only played 46 games. Other than that, 82, 82, 82, 66. That was a lockout year. He played every game. 82, 67, 80, 81, 80, 73, 78 with the Lakers, 68 then with the Clippers, 75 with the Nuggets. Like he was there and he was available. And like we have these complaints about guys, like we always say, like the best ability is availability, and Russ was always there.
Yeah, 29th all time in minutes played. And Jokic he's close. Jokic has 198 triple doubles, and Russell Westbrook's got 209. I mean that he's gonna get it eventually.
Actually, I didn't realize it was that close. I thought it was at least like 30. He still had about 30 in the bank.
No,
I guess Jokic just averaged triple double. So
man, he just does it in his sleep. But truly, in an era that's gone by, of the point guard era, it's not gone, but it's kind of slipped away. Who knows? I mean, the league really cycles through all these things. We've seen double big era. We've seen, the era of the wing. We've seen the era of small ball. We've seen the 3-point era. Now we're seeing possession maxing. We're seeing big, huge lineups. The league changes a lot, but I don't know if we're ever going to see another guy the size of Russell Westbrook play with that intensity and put that insane amount of on-court production and doing it the way he did. Like, he is truly one of a kind. It's just like you just got to be lucky to have witnessed the kind of greatness that he put out there.
Yep, I totally agree. And if you're an NBA fan who's only kind of watched Russell Westbrook since he left OKC, go back and watch the tapes and see the real Russell Westbrook for sure. You won't regret it.
So let's jump into the draft here.
Let's go.
I am going to give you the first pick, Ronan, because I'm going to be so kind as to do that. And I say that the next draft, I will take the first pick.
Oh, I feel like this is orchestrated, but okay.
We'll see if my big board falls apart from the jump. But, Ronan, who is your pick for who will be the next most improved player in the 2026-27 season, next season?
Right off the bat, I'm going with a guy who just signed a bumper contract this offseason with a new team. The biggest market in basketball that just sold yet again for $12.5 billion. It's Mr. Walker Kessler out in Los Angeles.
That's
yes.
the first pick? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Where'd you think I was going with that? Come on.
I did not think you were going there. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Honestly, the Lakers have wanted him forever. The Lakers have been desperate to go get him. They believe in their talent. As much as the Lakers have been desperate to sign a big man, like any big man, Walker Kessler has always been their guy. They finally went and got the deal done. And all things coming together, and he truly is that dream partner for Luka Doncic. And like playing with Reeves as well. Like, I could easily see him putting up 18 plus points per game. Just off putbacks, off the pick and roll, off lobs. He's going to crush. I could see him leading the league in rebounds, and I could definitely see him only being behind like Wemby when it comes to like blocks and the race for DPOY. He could definitely be in that conversation. The 3-point shot, is that real in any way? He only played 5 games last night. He went 6 of 8, or last season. Yeah. He went 6 of 8 from deep. If that is real in any way, that obviously unlocks another level. If the defenses at least have to respect him shooting from the corners, that unlocks another level. He's got paid big money. The Lakers believe in him, and we know what we always say: Luka Doncic with a legit rim running big man is a dangerous specimen. So I could really see Walker Kessler having a monster impact.
Yes. I mean, let's just start with the defense first, right? I mean, he is going to have a lot of opportunities to defend out the rim on this team. There will be plenty of opportunities for him to be weak side help. There will be plenty of opportunities to him to defend in the drop. He's going to have his hands full. I mean, and to that point, it is essential he stays healthy. It gives me pause, this pick, for a couple of reasons. I mean, I did have him on my radar. I thought really hard about where I wanted him on my big board. I totally see your comment. I mean, I think the boom is totally there. The argument for him playing alongside Luka Doncic. I mean, who better to unlock Walker Kessler than Luka Doncic? The guy who wants to play with Walker Kessler. That is, I mean, this was really rumored to be orchestrated by Luka, who's kind of, I guess, stepping into more like face of the franchise role of not dictating, maybe is not the right word, but, you know, putting his finger on the scale of where this team should go. And this is your guy. So he got Walker Kessler. He should feel confident that he's going to unlock him. To get it slightly negative, he was not even 50th percentile as a roller in 24 or 25 when he had his last healthy season. But that's the caveat. You know, who's his true pick and roll mate? I don't think that he had anywhere close to the kind of playmakers he'll have, not just in Luka Doncic, but Austin Reeves as well. So he has 2 guys who are really going to be able to set him up. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to play defense if he is healthy, and that chemistry in the pick and roll works out. Then, of course, I mean, he could be a top 5 big in the league. I mean, that's certainly on the table for this guy with how important he is to this team, the role that he'll be expected to play, for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely like it could be bust. He could be mid-tier. He could be like putting up like 11 and 10 per game with a couple of blocks, and he could be in and out of the team with injuries. That world exists too. But there is that dream world where everything clicks and he is absolutely legit next year, and he is, like you said, one of the top 5 bigs in the league. And maybe it's a bit aggressive going with my first pick there, but I'm really excited about that fit in LA.
Mm, I'm excited as well. I'm also excited that you left all these amazing players for me at the top. Thank you, Ronan. I appreciate. This is why I gave you the first pick. My next pick, my first pick, rather, I should say. Very excited to be drafting Brandon Miller on my MIP squad here. The case is pretty clear. I mean, you look at this team. There's no more LaMelo. There's no more Miles Bridges, and we've seen year on year Miller get a little more confident. He's confident with the ball in his hands. He's truly a 3-level scorer. And what is it this year? It's an extension year. It's a prove-it year. He's had a whole season fighting through injuries. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. A lot of them were freak upper body injuries that he had no control over. But what I loved about last year is that, he didn't duck the noise. He played through it. He played tough. And, I mean, this is a guy that, there are a lot of question marks him being drafted there. Second, is he really that good? He struggled in the NCAA tournament, but he's a tough guy. And I think what I've seen from him year on out is not only has he got more confident with the stroke, you've seen him get a little bit more confident on defense. And I think this is the year where he puts everything together. He's already shown plenty of flashes and gotten more consistent. I think this is the year where his efficiency takes a jump. The keys are going to be in his hands. It's really going to be up to him to prove that he's the franchise player. He's the guy for the future. And it's him or Concanipple, or maybe it should be both of them. But the question this year is, are you a Supermax? Like, are we going to extend you? Are you going to be the long-term guy? And, from a statistical standpoint, you already love his shot profile. He takes a lot of threes, a lot of drives to the rim. I think his efficiency at the rim last year took a hit with the injuries he's had. But, man, I love his game. He's always kind of reminded me of Paul George. And I think that this is his time. This is time to really prove that he's the guy.
I really like this pick. The only reason I didn't pick him is I was thinking, is he going to make enough of a jump to be in that conversation? Because we forget, he put up 20 points per game last year. Yeah. Which was really, really nice. And I'm a big fan of Brandon Miller. We'll see. We'll see how his ability to create for himself goes. We'll see if it's a great thing or a hindrance not having a play setter like LaMelo Ball there with him. But I'm with you. I totally believe in his talent. The only reason I didn't have him on my list was literally just that idea of him. Is he able to take enough of a jump up from the 20 points per game that he did this year to really be kind of considered like the most improved player? That's the only reason I didn't pick him. But all the things you said, I totally agree with. I'm so excited to see Charlotte next year. The Con and Miller being the league guys, kind of just getting to do their thing. The fact that there's no real pressure to win, obviously it'd be great if they're able to nab the 7th or 8th seed. That obviously I think they'd be in a dream world if they're able to do that. But the fact that they're just going out there and let's see what we got. Let's see if these are our guys. If we need to make any more moves around the perimeter, or if these guys can really lead us into the next stage of Hornets basketball, and maybe the stage of Hornets basketball. Because let's be honest, they don't have the greatest history in the world. So this could be their moment, and it's going to be exciting to see how it goes for sure.
Yeah, and I think with the scoring output thing, I think it's true that that there will definitely be some guys that go from scoring in the teens to then scoring in the low mid-20s, and that jump will on paper look a lot more impressive. I think the jump for him that goes beyond the scoring is that he becomes the number one option on a team that surprises us, because everyone's thinking, Charlotte's just kind of taking a back seat. They're thinking about the future. No, Charlotte wants to win. I think they were still thinking about their long term and doing good business on selling high on LaMelo, at least from their perspective. But I think they fully expect to be competitive next season, and Brandon Miller doesn't know about taking this step back. I mean, none of these guys are thinking, we're just taking the season off. No, these guys are they see themselves on an upward trajectory. They have pretty good depth. And if he's scoring in the mid-20s, he shows that his defense is more consistent. He's taken on a bigger role in terms of playmaking, and this team surprises, and they're in the mix for the playoffs. I mean, that's the exact kind of story you need for a guy like him that, maybe he didn't make this big, 7-8 point per game jump, but You recognize the defense. You recognize the that he's the focal point. You recognize his usage and his efficiency getting better. And I think that would be a perfect recipe for him to be one of the favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And yeah, like I said, super excited to see what the Hornets and specifically Con Knipple and Brandon Miller do this year.
Yeah. Um, you'll see. I feel like I kind of have an archetype with my picks here, but we're talking about Russell Westbrook and dunks. I mean, we're talking about highlights. I was going through some of the film from Brandon Miller this year, and I forgot some of the dunks he had, man. I mean, especially with his injured shoulder. I mean, he had a couple where he was damn near the free throw line in the fast break, and I forget that for a guy like him who's such a good shooter, like, dude, that the kind of leaping ability he has is very surprising. Jumps off the page.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you got next?
I feel like you're gonna get mad at me when I make this pick, but my next pick is a rookie, or sorry, a second year player. He's going into his second year.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I said rookie earlier. I meant I meant they were rookies last season. They're going into their second year. So I got Dylan Harper. I think the Spurs, I don't know if they're going to panic after what happened in the finals and kind of the playoffs as a whole with De'Aaron Fox, but I would really love to see Dylan Harper take that step up into a starting role next year in that backcourt with Stephon Castle. He put up 12 points per game and 4 assists, shooting 50% from the field, 34% from three off the bench last year. He was 4th in Rookie of the Year voting. He upped that scoring and the efficiency in the Spurs' finals run. You get him a starting role. I see a breakout year. I see him pushing the realms of 20 points per game. I see him getting those assist numbers at least steady there, or even upping them a little bit. I see that efficiency staying at that similar sort of level. Dylan Harper is an absolute hooper, and I see him in a starting role within this team. I think he could absolutely flourish.
It's tough. It's tough. I did a quick check here. This is fascinating. The last 2 second-year players to win, and this is 2 of 7. There only have been 7 ever to win.
Yeah, I looked at that.
Which, I mean, it's not a tiny number, but it's not a big number. Monte Ellis, 2006, 2007, and before that, Gilbert Arenas, both from the Golden State Warriors. Very interesting. That the Warriors had the last 2 second-year players. And I 100% agree with you, Ronan. I mean, you know me, man. I love Dylan Harper. I think he's legitimately going to be like pushing a top 15 player. Like I think he is going to be the guy next to Wemby long term. I mean, this core of 3, I love. I just don't think that Fox is going to leave. I don't think they're going to get rid of Fox. I don't think that they're going to bump him down to a bench role. It's going to be such an interesting situation to watch because I also agree with the opposite side of it that Dylan Harper's just too good to not play more. And he's not been super quiet about his desire to play more and to be in the starting lineup. Is there a situation in which somehow there's like 3 guard lineups where then you kind of go from there to then do a little bit more staggering? How do the lineups change a little bit? Do they ultimately find that Dylan Harper's just simply too good and they need to trade Fox to a different situation? Maybe. But I think that we forget that De'Aaron Fox had an essential role last year. Like they were not in the position they needed to be without him. So it's an interesting one to monitor because I think either outcome is fine because if Fox is gone, that means Harper already is starting to hit his stride and he's already that good of a player where you just can't risk not playing him more. But at the same time, it is kind of an awkward situation to have. It's starting to get to that point.
Yeah, and at least that like you know that like a guy like Stephon Castle can definitely play bigger than his size and his position. So then you could maybe feel a bit confidence in them potentially trying a 3 guard lineup at stages during the season. But I honestly think it's not even a question of like kicking Fox to the curb. Like I genuinely think Dylan Harper's got the talent and got the drive to just go and take the role from him.
Do you think that Fox would accept that?
Probably not, but at the same time, you're in an ideal situation. You're in a situation where you're probably going to be competing at the top level for the next 10 years if you're able to stick around that long. So unless you're just really all about yourself, if you're about winning team basketball, I think you find your way to make a role in that team.
Yeah. It's so interesting you made this pick. Any other closing thoughts on Dylan Harper?
On the whole, I have this insane theory that this is based off my trading card experience. So I work as a live breaker ripping trading cards, and they always hide Dylan Harper and Con Knipple cards. They are the hardest to find. It's harder to find them than Cooper Flag. Really? And I don't know if that's Topps' feeling that Dylan Harper and Con Knipple are going to ultimately have better careers than Cooper Flag. That's a random theory that I'm going off with.
Well, maybe
they've got a theory. They're looking in the tea leaves. They're looking into the secret sauce and seeing what's ahead, and they have a feeling that D Harp and Con might just end up as the bigger dogs when it's all said and done. Not making that call now myself, but just a theory.
I mean, I think it speaks to how good that draft class is that there can be an actual conversation about that. I mean, just looking back at Con is like, okay, he's going to be a great NBA player. He's going to be a really good complementary guy. He's going to be an awesome shooter, really solid. He might struggle on defense. Then it's like, whoa, like this is going to be like a really important focal piece. Maybe not a 1, but maybe a 1B type of player. And then Dylan Harper, it's like, hey, he's really talented, can get in the paint, he's going to be a super athlete, really good. But no, like he's already probably number 2 on this team that was just in the NBA Finals. But let me argue against that real quick, because I think that the more obvious pick is this other guy in the locker room, is Stephon Castle. I will pick Stephon Castle number 2 quite comfortably. Thank you so much again.
Okay.
Letting me stick to my big board here, because this dude came into the league, questionable shot. The shot looks questionable, but so good at getting to the paint, so confident in his handle, such a good playmaker. He already jumped up his assists. He's now 7.4 a game, which is really quiet. Not everyone's really talking about how good of a playmaker he was last year. Really used his gravity as a driver to help him out. His free throw rate.
Are we forgetting that he was Mr. Turnover in the playoffs?
Yes. We're all right, hold on. Let me cook. So there's a lot to clean up, right? Because we know how good he is at getting in the paint. We've seen him get more confident as a shooter, and I think that the shooting is starting to become less of a concern, and that's cleaning itself up. And how do we see teams start to defend him? They're not just leaving him wide open. They have to close out. So he's now attacking closeouts better. He's really getting into a good pace with this slow down step versus like that in his bag at this point has been so dangerous. I mean, the amount of different moves he can get into getting to the paint. This is not a third year kind of guy. This guy plays going downhill like he's been in the league for years. So I think as he continues to get more confident shooting, like his scoring is going to jump up. I expect him to be a 20-point per game scorer. I expect him to continue to be assisting at this clip. The question is the turnovers, for sure. Is he always going to be a turnover-heavy guy? He certainly could be. But I think that we expect young guys to also get better from that end. So I think his efficiency has gotten better, become a more aggressive shooter. We know that his bag is so deep, scoring the paint. If his shooting continues to improve, he continues to work on that shot, which we've seen him do. I mean, this guy I think he's going to have his first All-Star nod. And I think he'll be very, very high on the list for most improved player. Obviously, the competition is a little bit tougher because he's also got another guy that needs to grow. Dylan Harper could also be eating into that role as well, but I think both of them will improve side by side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think maybe Dylan Harper playing alongside him could help with the turnover issues. But like obviously, you see my shirt here, right? You see the champions. We see that. Okay, yeah, cool. Just had to throw that out there. But yeah, no, I know I jumped in
before you did it.
I know I jumped in to try and hate on Stephon Castle there, but I am a huge fan of his. I think he's such a baller, and I'm so excited to see him continue to develop. Like that's what that was his second year last year. I'm honestly forgetting when he got drafted. That's only his second year last year. He's already had the experience of a deep playoff run, getting to the NBA Finals. So yeah, he's in a great position, and I like your theory. There is a more realistic avenue for him to be in that most improved conversation because you feel like he is a guaranteed starter with this team because that's what he was last year. So yeah, like the Spurs are just so fascinating to see how they step on from the obviously they take down OKC and then they're kind of disappointing then in the finals, but this is still such a young team with so much talent, so much room to grow. Like it's a scary thought how much better they can still get, and Steph Castle is a huge part of that on both ends of the floor as well. So not just an offensive player, not just a defensive guard. Like he has the potential to be the full package.
Yeah. All right. I'm a little nervous with you picking next. I'm scared you're gonna take one of my guys.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna get my other big man out of the way. Centers don't ever really usually win this award, but unfortunately I do have two on my list because there's just the return into the era of big men. You know, that's something that's been talked about in the NBA, and it's Alex Sarr with the Washington Wizards.
Oh, okay. Talk me through it.
I think there is a world next season where Alex Sarr is the top scorer on the Wizards. I think that universe exists. I know we've got AJ DeBonsta, the number one overall pick, in there. I know they've got Trae Young in there. AD, is he there? Is he not there? We don't really know, so I'm just kind of pushing him out to the side. But I really believe in Alex Sarr's talent as a two-way player. Last season was fine. 16 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. His playmaking is a super underrated part of his game. Only played 48 games, but he also had 3 stocks during that time as well. I think he's going to thrive playing alongside Trae Young. I think he could really pop off having that true play setter playing beside him. I think he could absolutely be in the all-defensive hunt next year as well as being the top scorer on this team. Like I said, that playmaking continues to develop. He becomes like a league average 3-point shooter, and he really starts to be able to take over in the paint. I see a big year next year for Alex Sarr, and I think I see a big year for the Wizards, and that's why I have him in there.
It's interesting you're pushing AD to the side because what does it look like? I do wonder how he would synergize with AD. I think him having sole responsibilities on a 5 is that let him be more comfortable. I think he's shown he's had a little more versatility than we thought. He's had some time playing out to the level. He's had some time playing the drop. We've seen him switch a little bit. We've seen him be a roamer at times. I think he's shown some pretty good versatility. So I think it's true. Like with or without him, I expect him to continue to get better. Whether or not AD is eating into his on-ball minutes, does that allow Sarr to kind of benefit off of that attention that AD is going to get? It's undoubtable. What kind of playmaking Trae Young's going to bring to the table to help with Sarr. Developing that chemistry is key, and I think that his role in the offense, he's going to clean up so much on the defensive end. He'll have a lot of opportunities to clean up on the offensive end. He'll be a roller. He'll have a presence in the paint, and the amount of drivers that this team has. He'll be the beneficiary of a lot of dump-offs. Think about all the, Keyshawn George, AJ DeBonsta, Trae Young, even looking at Trae. They got 2 Traes now. They got a lot of guys
Trae Johnson,
who can attack off the dribble, and the amount of defensive attention that they're going to get getting downhill. That's something that we know that Sarr is going to be able to benefit off of. This is a spicy pick, man. This is quite a spicy pick. Kessler and then Sarr. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, get aggressive. I'm feeling these big guys. They're like Sarr. I kind of always believed he was the most talented player in that draft class, which was like rather underwhelming. Reece Shea, who's already been traded away by the Hawks, he's now going to play with Coop.
Bro,
Let's see how that goes.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, man. Let's see how it goes. Is he too jacked? That's the question.
We need to draft a summer glow up. That's the next thing we need to draft. I think Reece Shea has got it right now. This man's looking yoked.
I hope Chet Holmgren's got it a bit too.
Oh man, we can't talk about Chet today.
Yeah, but Sarr, I'm just so excited to see. Let's see where that shot is at. Let's see him really play with that true play setter. Let's see him play in a Washington team that's actively trying to win basketball games, and let's see the impact that can have.
I like it, man. I like it. That Wizards team is going to be fun to watch, and it's not been fun to watch for a long time, man. I mean, I would say, I'll be honest, I did catch some Wiz last year, especially, I'm a big Keyshawn George fan. I really like his game.
Yeah.
I love what Trey was showing in Summer League. I would love to see a comeback with Trey Young. I would love him to go back in New York and really shut you guys up and really show himself
I didn't
back on the scene.
yeah.
But I'm glad you made that pick because you're going to be very, very upset that you missed out on this one. I think you picked the wrong Spur. I think you picked the wrong Laker. I think Austin Reeves has a pretty good opportunity to go.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Get out of here.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
he put up 26 points per game last year. How was he winning Most Improved Player? That's not happening.
Listen. What were Austin Reeves' stats without LeBron James last season?
I don't know, something insane, like 27 and like 7.
28 points per game without LeBron James last season. Averaged 28 points per game. And when he was healthy, he was going off. I mean, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe that Austin Reeves for the totality of the year last year only averaged 23 points per game.
He did. But I mean, I just don't think you can go from I don't see how you win Most Improved Player after already putting up a 23 point per game season. I'll be honest.
Well, hey man, let me make my bad pick here, but
you're right. Go ahead.
I think that the amount of ball handling that they will need from him will be immense. You look at this team, you got Luka, you got him, and then you got Colin Sexton. I mean, they're going to need to stagger a lot of Austin and Luka in order to maintain this engine that they're trying to run here. And his playmaking opportunities are going to be immense. I think his stats are going to jump up across the board. He's shown that he can still be efficient even with that. And, not that he's going to take the night off on defense, but, they've surrounded them with a little bit more defensive insulation so that he doesn't get beat up too much on that end. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to average 28 and 8, but he could. I mean, like,
you're not saying it either. Yeah, okay.
Maybe he could. I think that I've doubted him for the last few years. Kind of just wondering, is this real? I think he's proven to this point, he is an absolute baller. If you give him the opportunity to be that level of, give him that much offense, I mean, he's going to produce. Who knows if Luka's going to be healthy all season? He's not been healthy for a full season in some time now. So Austin's going to...
Please let that change. We need to see Luka back in the playoffs. I miss Luka Doncic playoff mode.
I sure hope so.
But yeah, Reeves.
I drafted him a little earlier than I wanted to because I felt that you'd be a little more in on him. Maybe not. But maybe I just wanted to juxtapose your picks a little bit here. Hedge my bets.
In terms of a breakout player, I like the pick. In terms of actually winning Most Improved Player, I don't see it. But I'm a big Reeves guy. I love watching Reeves play basketball. Deceptively quick. I love when you see him attack like a closeout or split the defense and get to the rim like he is. He's an extremely fast player. I feel like that kind of goes unnoticed. He's a great shooter. He can play make. And like you said, he's going to have the opportunities. Like, you have to imagine they're going to stagger the minutes and he'll be running the offense while Luka's on the bench. That feels like the only way it's going to really make sense, especially in big games. Like, they're not just going to hand the keys to Sexton and have both Reeves and Doncic on the bench at the same time. I feel like we won't see much of that. And that's when Reeves can really pop off. And he can do, obviously he's not as good as Luka, but the gap isn't as far as I think that a lot of people would maybe make it out to be in their minds. He is an extremely talented player, handling the ball, scoring the ball, and I think he is going to have a big year this year. And I'm really excited to see the Lakers as a whole, without LeBron, with this kind of whole new look, with it being Luka's team undoubtedly now. I'm excited to see how they go this year. Reeves is a baller, and I'm always excited to hear his name, and always excited to talk about him.
On this note, I do want to bring up, are we worried the Lakers don't have enough ball handlers now?
A little bit, but they've got two of the best at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, you're relying on a lot of health. I mean, you're relying on them to be healthy for pretty much the whole season. I mean, unless you have bigger stock on Colin Sexton than I think. And full respect
Yeah.
to Colin Sexton. I love me some Colin Sexton, but in terms of like creating offense, not just like off the bench scoring, like to really set the table for this team, because they don't have a lot of versatile offensive guys. They have
Yeah.
guys who need to be fed that I think really fit nicely. Looking across the board here, I love a Matisse Thybulle. Um, I'm not. Does Dalton Connect like become a actual like rotation
He's
NBA
still
player
there.
this year? He is. Zaire Williams. This is his third chance. I mean, is he a guy that carved out a role? He looked solid in the Nets at times. I mean, but they don't have a lot of guys that can really create their own shot. That's not really a thing. Um,
Yeah.
is this a Jaden Hardy resurgence? I saw flashes of it in Dallas, and then he just disappeared. But they need someone from
Is
this.
he on the
problem,
Lakers
like-
now? I honestly
Yeah.
did not know that. I did not know
He
that.
is. But
Wow.
I mean, they need somebody. I mean, hell, Bronny James, you're still there, bro. Like you got some juice. Like
Point Bronny. Come on.
Point Bronny.
We got Timu Bronny on the team now.
But they need someone on this team to pop besides Colin Sexton, because they need more shot creation. They can't rely the entire season on Luka and Austin Reeves to create everything, because that's just too much to ask for these two guys for them to stay healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But yeah, Lakers definitely an interesting one to watch, and I do like that we both picked a Laker and we both picked different players. I think that's a lot of fun. All right, my next pick. I'm going for the Timberwolves, and I'm looking at Jaden McDaniels.
Oh,
I'm giving one last hurrah for Jaden McDaniels. I feel like we say it every year. Can he finally fully pop off as that two-way dual threat wing? And maybe this is the year. We got LaMelo Ball coming in. Naz Reid is gone. Randall's gone. There's going to be pressure on Jaden McDaniels to really deliver. With LaMelo Ball setting the table, with the attention that him and Anthony Edwards are gonna garner when on the floor, Jaden McDaniels should have a lot of opportunities as a cutter, a lot of opportunities to get open looks. Is this the year he finally becomes that all-defensive 20-point per game player? It's as good a shot as any. He put up 15 points per game last year. He had pretty decent shooting splits, 51, 41, 84. So the efficiency was there. Just a question of, can he make that leap up to an extra few baskets a night, an extra couple of trips to the free throw line a night, really become that elite two-way player, one of the best two-way players in the league, because that's what the Timberwolves are going to need, and I think that's what the Timberwolves believe he is still capable of.
I actually really like this pick, and I'm very upset at myself for not thinking about it. That's a good one, because I do still have a lot of Jaden McDaniel stock, and I still think he's an important player to the season. Even if he doesn't increase his scoring load, I think that's my concern. I believe in the shooting. I believe in the finishing. He's gotten to be a better shooter and creator year on out. We've seen what he did when Anthony Edwards was not on the floor, and he just had some crazy moments in the playoffs. Doing it consistently is something he's shown he hasn't been able to do. Maybe that changes. I mean, consistency in terms of his shot creation, maybe that changes. His consistency on the defensive end is always there. He's always a menace. He's going to have quite the heavy burden on the boards.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to ask a lot from Jaden McDaniels, a guy who's not averaged more than 5.7 rebounds, his career high last year, to really attack the glass. Now that they've lost two of their more productive board getters. He's going to have more opportunities, like you said, on the offensive end, with Nas not being there, with Randall not being there, to have a little bit more juice on offense, for sure. But I wonder what kind of burden that's going to place on him, that he's going to be, really a featured big. He's going to have to play the four a lot more than he has before.
Yeah. I think it can go both ways. It could be too much, and we could see some stagnation from him, or it could be just what he needs to really go and take that next leap. And I'm backing him for the latter.
Yeah, he's such an interesting. There's a lot of players out there where they like something needs to happen to like get the spark lit and to have him
Mm-hmm.
go off. He's one of those guys when like something goes out, he gets mad about something, and he
Yeah.
gets in that zone, then turns into a totally different player. And he turns into like he's like I'm gonna score right now, and he starts shot hunting, and especially he's hunting in the mid range, and then he starts getting downhill, and he's shooting like he turns into a totally different guy, and like just
He's certainly got
finding
the
that.
crazy eyes down to a T anyway. Definitely got
Yeah,
those crazy eyes.
yeah. He's if you're a Wolves fan, you've seen it so many times. You're like, dude, like if you could just be that guy more, like that's an incredible player. I mean, he is already such a good player, such an important player. I won't downplay what he is to this team already, but yeah, I mean, I think that there's always been the signs that he could do even more than he is right now.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's a good one. Dang, I did not have him regrettably on my list. I have a really tough decision to make here because I like all the guys on my board. I've picked my three. Just to recap, I got Brandon Miller one, Stephon Castle two, Austin Reeves three. I have not picked a big yet. Do I just fill this out and pick a big just cause, or am I going to miss out on somebody else? We will do some honorable mentions at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I I think I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna make the big leap pick that you've been begging me to make this whole time. You're mad that I keep picking guys who are already good. Let's go with Khalil Ware for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Nice. All
Khalil
right.
Ware, a guy that ever since he was drafted, we had such intrigue on his unicorn capabilities. It's not talked about enough just how solid of a season he had last year when Spoelstra actually wanted to play him. But his 3-point game has arrived. It has translated. He's now shooting 39.5% from three. We've seen him be aggressive from there, um, albeit in limited minutes. He played 77 games. He's durable. Uh, I'll say this: he's gonna play. He's gonna lead the league in dunks. I think he made the eighth most dunks per game, and he played 160 few minutes for every player ahead of him except for Giannis. We don't know if Miles Turner gets traded. If he does get traded, things are going to get a lot more interesting for the opportunities for Khalil Ware. But I think they're going to give him plenty to begin with. He's got a couple of decent guards next to him to get him going. But really, all he needs to do is space the floor, shoot threes, attack the basket, and I mean, I think he's easily going to jump from not being a double-digit scorer to being in the high teens. I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities to attack the glass on this team, and he's going to have plenty of opportunities for the kind of guards that they have here to really defend the rim. So I'm excited for him to be there, excited for him to learn alongside Miles Turner, and excited to see him possibly take over a bigger role if Turner gets traded. But yeah, Khalil Ware, he should be an interesting piece for the Bucks for years to come.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably relying on Turner getting traded for him to really pop off. Maybe in a similar sense to how I'm kind of relying on Fox either taking a smaller role or getting traded with Dylan Harper. But yeah, you've always been high on Khalil Ware, and I'm super excited to see him in Milwaukee. He's one of the guys that I thought about, and then I was like, are Milwaukee just going to be too bad for a guy on their team to be in the conversation? And then I was kind of doing a bit of research. Like, we've seen teams with losing records have most improved players, so like there is that avenue there. I do really like him. I'm excited to see him play in a team that with Taylor Jenkins. I feel like Taylor Jenkins gets the best out of his players always, and I know he's coming from another guy who does that in Eric Spoelstra. So I'm excited that he's getting like a similar sort of coach in terms of that like prerogative is getting the best out of your guys, putting them in the best position to be the best versions of themselves. So I love that idea. I do think they're going to need to maybe move Turner on for us to really see the best of Khalil Ware this season. But like you said, like the 3-point shot is there, the dunking ability, the athleticism, the defense. He's got all the ingredients. Let's just see him put it together.
Yeah, and I think even if Turner doesn't get traded, I think he doesn't need to play 30 minutes a game to average like 15, 6, and two more than 2 blocks.
Yeah,
That kind of guy, if they get a little buzz, he could be in the mix.
yeah, for sure. This is my last pick. Oh boy, my number 5. Well, I guess I'll do a little run through. I got Walker Kessler, I got Dylan Harper, I got Alex Sarr, I got Jaden McDaniels. And my last pick, I am going to go for the only player I've got on my list that I think is going to be on a really bad team but is still going to have a really big year. It's another second-year guy, and it's Jeremiah Fears with the
Whoa!
New Orleans Pelicans.
Whoa!
I'm a
Okay.
huge fan of Jeremiah Fears. I'm honestly a huge fan of both of the Pels second-year guys.
Yeah.
Him and Queen.
Yeah.
Love them. Fears is an absolute baller. I am such a huge fan of his. I'm so excited to see what he does this year. Yeah, the Pelicans are going to stink again. Pretty much no doubt about that. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. That is a fact. But Jeremiah Fears could make that leap up to being a 20-point per game scorer. I can see that universe. He's got averaged 14 points per game, 3.5 assists last year. Solid splits, 43, 33, 79. He played all 82 games. He had 49 starts. He had 17 20-plus games last year. Only Con, Coop, and VJ had more. He finished the season with 40-6, 36-6, and 36-5. This guy is an uber talented guard. He's undersized. Yeah, he's maybe not the greatest shooter in the world, but he's got this aggression. He's got this tenacity about him. I think he's going to do great things in year two, and I think he's going to be able to thrive even in a very weak New Orleans Pelicans team.
I got no notes, man. That's an insane pick. That's a great pick. Another guy I did not even have on my radar. Um, I really like his game. I'm curious what that rotation is going to look like. I mean, he already carved out his role despite there being three guards there. You forget that Jordan Poole is still there. like,
Yeah, I definitely forget that, yeah.
I guess they don't want to trade Trey Murphy. I mean, another jump scare. I forget that Sadiq Bey
Such a
is still
shame,
there.
because I wish Trey Murphy could play on a winning team. I'd love to see him on a winning team.
You know, I mean, you look at this team, though. You look at this team that has two good bigs, solid bigs that are growing. You still got Zion, for whatever that's worth.
He's his contract year. He's going to go get that super.
You have a guy that you want to bet on in a contract year. You got really good bevy of wings. I mean, you have two of the best two-way wings in the league.
Yeah.
You believe in a guy like DeJounte Murray. Now you got this burgeoning young scoring guard and Jeremiah Fears. Very interesting times for this team. I mean, is everyone sleeping on the New Orleans Pelicans, a team that's just been suffering through dysfunction since they had an exciting year 3 years ago? It's starting to become a long time since we had any hope for them. And really cool for Jeremiah Fears, man. When he was drafted, I think it was really eclipsed by the absolute disaster of a move that was for Derek Queen, who in his own right is a very good player and a guy that I'm excited to continue watching. Just such a unique guy with the handles he has and the rebounding, the passing, the vision he brings to the table. I mean, Jeremiah Fears deserves a little bit more buzz because, I mean, he is a fearless guard. The way he attacks the paint, the way that he really has great handles, the shooting, like he's an exciting player to watch. We'll see.
Reminds me of a certain guy we were talking about earlier, doesn't he?
Maybe. But wow, great pick. Okay, 2 back-to-back picks I did not even see coming. I'll put my last pick in here, and then we can go through some honorable mentions that didn't make the cut. I gotta go with the homer pick. I almost had 3 homer picks. I had to chill out a little bit. We'll go over those in a second. But Modest Buzelis is my last, but certainly not least. Certainly not least pick, okay? Everyone's talking about Caleb Wilson, and rightfully so. Caleb Wilson, he's the next Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant, Kevin whoever. Caleb Wilson is coming. He's going to be fantastic. But Modest Buzelis, you go back to the draft process and how he initially, coming out of high school, was rated a top 3 prospect, somehow fell into the Bulls' hands. And year on year, he's gotten better. He's gotten better as a shooter, which was the biggest gripe about him coming out of G League Ignite. He's now shot 40% of his shots beyond the arc. He's shooting 40% of his shots at the rim. This is just a analytics dream. He's shooting 55.3% effective field goal percentage, and I think he's got a 40% beyond the arc season coming. Like you see his stroke, it continues to get more confident. He's taking those shots. There's zero hesitation to them as well. I mean, he's taking them in transition. He's taking them off curls. He's starting to take them off the dribble more. And the exciting part too is, this is the biggest part for me. Thiago Splitter. What did he do with Deni Avdia? He juiced Deni Avdia up from 10 drives per game to nearly 20. And that's what allowed Deni Avdia to get to his first, and I mean, probably only All-Star game he'll ever go to. And you look at this guy, Manas Buzelis, he's got handles. You got to watch the tape if you don't know this already. Like, he's got the handles to get down the paint. That's gotten better. He has to tighten it up a little bit more if he wants to get his usage up. Deni, in his own right, has great tight handle. He knows how to use his ankles. But if Matas continues to improve that, he only had 6.7 drives per game. I mean, the amount of improvement he can make there alone is huge. And then what he does across the board as well, there's no other player in the league except for him and Wemby who have recorded 100 threes and blocks. Pretty rare company for a wing. The only other players to ever do this from the wing position is Rasheed Wallace, Sean Marion, and another Kevin Durant mentioned here, Kevin Durant. So just looking at what he's doing here from a usage perspective as well, jumped from 16.8 to 21.5. I expect that to continue to go up. But, I mean, this guy, if the Bulls have their dream outcome this season, Caleb Wilson is a Rookie of the Year. Matas Buzelis is a most improved player. They're a 6th seed in the East. They won 48 games. Let me dream. But in a real note, I think Matas has really developed his game nicely for a guy who's nearly 6'10" and plays both ends of the ball and is really rounding out as an all-around player who's really exciting to see.
Yeah, well, bumped his scoring up by 5 points per game, I think, last year, right? And there's nothing to say. He can't do that exact same thing again. Like, this guy is uber talented, like you said. It's kind of slept on the fact that he put up 16 points per game last year. The Bulls were just so mediocre and so in the middle that there was no reason to really pay attention to them at all. But I'm a big fan of his. I've always liked his style. I've always liked how he's kind of carried himself. I remember watching a show on Netflix with Reebok trying to sign him to a shoe deal, and like the way he just kind of talked about how he wanted to grow his game, how he believed in Chicago, how he loved the fact that he was a Chicago Bull. It just made me really want to believe him and got me so excited to see what he can do in this league. And yeah, it's a great pick. I'm glad you had a clear and obvious pick for a homer pick, and I'm glad you went and made it. I would have been disappointed in you if you didn't do it. There is an absolute world next year where Caleb Wilson is Rookie of the Year and Buzelis is most improved. If not the winner, at least in the conversation all season, and like right up there next to some of the other guys that we've mentioned here. There's probably going to be a guy that comes out of the blue that neither of us ever thought of that ends up winning the award, but Buzelis is definitely that archetype that can definitely be considered there, because there's going to be more attention on Chicago this year. That always helps, and there's attention on your team, whether it's for good reasons or bad. With Caleb there's going to be attention on the team, and the talent that he's got, the shooting keeping going, like you said, improving the drives, like it's gonna be great. New coach, this is fresh in Chicago, and it's gonna be great to see.
Yeah, I'm so excited, man. I'm excited for all these players, but of course, selfishly, I'm very excited to see Matas next season. Are there any honorable mentions for guys that you left off your list that either you found a flaw that was like too much to eventually draft, or someone you think you're going to regret not drafting?
Well, one of the guys, I wish I kind of picked him now because of the way you went with some of your picks. I was looking at Scotty Barnes. It looks like Kawhi's not going to make his way to Toronto.
He's a Clipper,
it looks
man.
like
he's either a Clipper or he's a Shanghai Shark. He's not coming back.
It looks like that isn't going to happen. And like, is this the year? Can Scotty finally make that push up towards being that like 25 point per game scorer, that true like all rounder offensively, as well as still being that defensive demon? Like, he looked great in that 7-game series against the Cavs. Yeah, obviously short sample size, but he absolutely balled out. And is that like a precursor for what's to come this year? Like, he's still a young player. I think he's still only 24. Can he make like he could easily make that leap up to being that 24, 25 per game point per game scorer this year? I could see a world where that happens.
Like that. Peyton Pritchard. Everyone's talking about Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Brunson. Jalen Pritchard. I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, I've thought about it.
I think what I've heard on that is some people have said like if it was gonna happen, it would have happened last year, and I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's coming off the bench, and I think you look at him 2 years ago, literally the most efficient player in the league. He was a guy that was 100th percentile in effective field goal percentage. I mean, if you just pull out cleaning the glass on him, it's just like every number he's above 95th percentile. Incredibly efficient player. I mean, he just bumped up his usage barely above 20. He was at 22.7% last year, and everything dipped. And not to say he's a bad player at all. I mean, he's a fantastic player, very good player. But I think we clearly saw that having the ball in his hands more, running the offense more through him, naturally his efficiency went down. But I genuinely question the idea that he's going to become a big enough focal point to the level at which Jalen Brunson is. That's absurd to think about that. Like that's not a knock on Peyton Pritchard at all. Like how many guards in this league can you put the ball in their hand the amount that you put in Jalen Brunson's hand and expect good offense for that much? Very few. I mean, there's him, there's Trey, there's Luka, there's Cade. There's very few guys who you can really do that with. And to expect that from Pritchard is kind of wild. To expect 75% of that is insane. I don't even know about half. I think his best position is being an off-the-ball scorer. And, like, literally the best, like, sixth man in the league. Like, he thinks he's the most. It's him and Naz Reid. It's a very short list. You can throw Nye in there, too. But I think just in terms of efficiency, you can at least say he's the most efficient bench scorer in the league, highly productive. I think that's where he should be. I don't think that he's going to win most improved player because I think if you put the ball in his hands more, you'd find yourself a little bit more of an efficient guy. I don't know how much more he gets picked on defense. I think he's a great defender for his position. I've always been on him for that. But I don't see this huge jump everyone is talking about. I could be wrong, and I'll be happily wrong. I love Peyton Pritchard. I just don't see it.
I see him as that efficient 15 to 17 point per game scorer, solid playmaker, but doesn't need to have the ball in his hands too much. I think that's that's a sweet spot for him.
Yeah, like legendary efficiency, like incredibly efficient, but like
next level. One guy I really wanted to put on the list, but knew that I couldn't because I do believe there is potential for him to have a great year. This is the guy I was talking about at the start, the point guard. It was Scoot Henderson. I really wish, but like. Yeah. There's too many guards there. It's Drew Holiday, Dame, and Ja Morant now. Like, how is he going to be able to really flourish? That
was probably the third name that popped into my head, and I was like, oh, yeah, Ja's there, Dame's healthy. It's that process that's going to be quite something to watch. I'm so curious to see how that even works. I don't even know how that's going to work. I'm sure that Kanori is going to have his hands full just trying to sort out how this works on the floor. I really wanted... He was number 2 initially on my big board. Then he became number 3. And then he was just like still staying there. And I just couldn't convince... And it makes me sad that I can't convince myself of it because maybe I have a lot of favorite players, but I think genuinely like Ahmed Thompson is... one of my favorite players to watch in this league. He's one of my favorite young players in this league. I mean, his box score looks great. 18.3 points, 7.8 rebounds, 5.3 assists. All of his efficiency took a dip because they asked him to do so much on ball. And you can argue Fred VanVleet's coming back. Maybe that guy that Udoka never wants to play because he's too small and makes a lot of mistakes. Maybe he learns how to play a little more point guard effectively. I don't know, man. I don't get good vibes from this team. And I think
No,
it just
agreed.
scares me away from Amen's development. I think he'll continue to get better. I just don't see him making the leap. I like that he's going to be back into his natural role off ball, that you can have him be the elite cutter he is. You can have him do these small screens. You can have him getting downhill. You can have him in the dunker spot. You can have him, matched up against less athletic five and just take him off the dribble. I think him trying to take smaller guards off the dribble is a little bit harder of a task as opposed to him taking fours and fives off the dribble. So I think in that regard, he'll have an easier time. But I just have too many questions about this offense. I have too many questions about Şengün. And that led me to some thoughts on Şengün and this team as a whole. And random question, if you don't have one, I'll throw you one. Have you thought about any trades about where you would want to see Şengün play if you thought that this is over and Şengün's time in Houston is done and maybe it's better that he move on elsewhere?
I can't say I've thought too much about that, but please lay it on me.
I've ruminated. And imagine a trade to Milwaukee. Imagine a world in which the spacing continues to be a problem. Amen Thompson's development is starting to fizzle out a little bit, and you just don't see them working out long term. And you look over in Milwaukee, you see a guy that fits a lot better. You see a Miles Turner. You see a guy who's going to space the floor, who's going to be able to still provide good rim protection. And then you see a solid young guard who's going to add to your rotation because you need more guards who are going to be able to work alongside Amen. And Ryan Rollins, a guy who's going to really continue to defend at the same kind of clip that the Rockets are known to defend. And that feels like both are slightly happy because I just don't see a happy ending for Şengün in Houston. I see that the Bucks are probably happy with Ryan Rollins. They're happy that they found a guy, but I don't think he's like their future. Braden Burry's looked great. I think they're really interested in him. They need to develop Nate Ament, and Tyler Hero is going to be there. He's clearly going to be their lead guard. You want to make space for Khalil Ware, and we get a chance to take on this all-star big and see if he works out. Imagine a world in which you have a floor spaced out with Khalil Ware, with Şengün down low. You have a world in which Şengün can be protected by another shot-blocking big there. I think both teams could maybe be a little happy with that, and players there could also fit better into their roles, but that's just my thought on where he could possibly go, because I think my biggest concern about Amen Thompson reaching the point where he is MIP level, really taking a big jump, is that the spacing's just not there for him. And I think the spacing will always be an issue, as Şengün isn't that kind of player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think they'd be interested in maybe moving Turner. Are they interested in moving Rollins? That'd be one to keep an eye on. But that's definitely an interesting one. I can definitely see where you come from there, and I could definitely see Şengün maybe being seen as surplus to requirements. Maybe not this season, but maybe it's on the horizon. I don't know if they can continue to stick with him when every year you're just waiting for him to be that little bit cleaner, that little bit tidier, that little bit more efficient, and it just feels like it's not ever going to happen. One guy, I don't know if he's got the ceiling for most improved that I was thinking about, but I was looking at a guy like Max Christie in Dallas. Is this the year that he finally shows the growth? He's got to be popping at a level. I'm not saying he's going to be like 20-point per game scorer, but like Kyrie comes back, he's going to probably be the starting two guard. More attention on Coop. If he is that guy, is there potential for him to be a great like 3-and-D sort of player? Maybe. I don't think he's like going to be in more MIP conversations, but he's a guy I'm interested to see how he goes next year.
I'm interested in Dallas as a whole. Risa Shea muscle watch, Max Christie rotation watch. I'm there to watch all of it. That's great. That's good stuff. I almost picked Kobe White And then I was like, I'm doing too many Bulls here. I can't do too many Hornets here. Kobe White's gonna have a great year, man. I don't know if he gets to the MIP level. I think he should have won MIP a couple years ago.
Okay.
But man, I really think that he's totally made for this game that they're playing there in Charlotte. He's going to have all the opportunities to be the lead guard. He's going to have all the opportunities to complement both Khan and Miller when they want to play on the ball. We know what Kobe does there. We know what he does in the open court. We know they love to get in the open court. So he's going to have all the opportunities to score as much as he wants to and set the table for them. Christian Anderson's a great point guard of the future, but Kobe White is a point guard of the now, and he's ready, I think, if the Hornets are going to be making the kind of run that they want to make, that Kobe White's got to be another piece of that.
Yeah, for sure. One guy I did think about quickly, just off the cup, it was a wild one. I think he's actually probably too old to win the award. He'd only be the second guy to ever win it at 30 years old, but I was looking at potentially including OG Anunoby. I was thinking,
how can I throw a Nick in here?
There's a world where like he's like really on the radar next year. Like he's now got one of the most famous all-time shots in the finals. He's on everyone's radar. He's putting up 20 points per game. He's shooting 40% from three. He's still that elite defender. He makes an all-star team, and like he's just kind of in that sort of world. But I stepped back from it and I was like, I don't know if you can win most improved after winning a chip.
Well, what's insane is that he hasn't made an all-star.
Yeah. I think this is the year. I think he's like right there. He's like right. He's going to be in like everyone's minds this year. So as long as he's doing his thing, he's doing 17, 18 points per game, shooting well from three, I think he makes it.
Yeah, it has to be like an apology vote. Like, hey man, sorry, two-time champion, two-time all defensive second team, and you just won a championship again. Yeah,
get him on that all defensive first team this year. Let's go.
That's for sure. Any other honorable mentions?
No, I was kind of thinking loosely about kind of the guys in Memphis. I'm excited to see what happens in Memphis. Like, let's see Coward in year two, Edie come back, like little things like that.
Yeah, Coward, man, he's one of those guys that I know summer league you don't put too much stock into it, but you look like how comfortable is this guy, and Coward looks quite comfortable. That team's going to be very fun to watch with him. With Boozer, with Edie, is Edie going to be healthy?
Taj Gibson, of course, yeah.
Dude, Taj is still playing bad. I love Taj Gibson, man. I mean, the fact that Taj played with Boozer's dad back in Chicago is delightful. It's
is Tom Thibodeau on the coaching staff in Memphis or something? How is Taj Gibson ended up there?
Is he? No, I don't think he is. I don't think he's coaching.
Maybe just put a word in. I don't know.
Dude, Thibodeau, he needs to just go retire and like enjoy his life. This man's almost 70. He's got to have the cardiovascular system of a 90-year-old. The amount of years he's lost. But that about does it here. Just to go through our top 5, which will be recorded, and we'll have a weighted scoring system somehow. But Brandon Miller, Stephon Castle, Austin Reeves, Khalil Ware, and Modest Buzelis round out my top 5. If I'm remembering correctly, for you got Walker Kessler first, Dylan Harper second, and Alex Sarr third, and crazy 4th and 5th picks. You went Jaden McDaniels and Jeremiah Fierce. I love that.
Let's go.
No one's talking about it. I think those are great picks. I didn't see those two last names anywhere, but you made a good case.
Yeah, you gotta love the curveball. Yeah. I would say, let's see, how do they do MIP voting? Is there like is it like first, second, third? Is that like a thing with MIP voting, or do you just vote for who's most improved? I feel like
no, there's first, second, third. Because I remember Kobe went second to that year with I think it was Ja. Was it Ja that won that year? I can't remember who won.
So that's the way we'll do it. If you get a first place vote, you get 3 points. If you get a second place vote, 2 points. You get a third place vote, you get 1 point for your player. That works.
I like that. That's a good weighted system. We're coming up with these rules on the spot live. That's great.
There we go. Let's see how it goes. Maybe we'll both finish with 0 points. We just don't know. Guys can always come out of the woodwork and just pop off like a Dyson Daniels a couple of years ago, something crazy like that. We just have to see how it goes. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. Appreciate you all sticking with us. We are in the doldrums of the off season. We are kind of just waiting for some things to go down. We saw the NBA schedule release. Knicks Sixers opening night. Was it ever going to be anything else? Of course it was not. We got a nice slate on Christmas Day. That looks like it's going to be fun. Yeah, I mean, still a couple of months away from the start of the NBA season, but we're going to have a lot of fun here discussing fun things during the off season. We did our most improved player draft there. We're going to look at MVP. We're going to look at first time All NBA. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have fun here on Coast to Coast as we always do. But for now, that's going to do it. Remember, we're everywhere on social media at Coast to Coast NBA. And most importantly, remember to take every shot and love every moment.
Peace out.